I had a job at Hoodlum and on Daly's first show as a post-producer called The Strange Calls for ABC, and that's where we met. We worked together in the edit on that show for about 3 months, cutting it together, and we got to know each other really well, and we had a lot in common. And then after that, we thought, what can we do now? We wanted to do our own thing, and Brisbane not having a big industry, we thought, well, let's do something together, and that's when we put Ludo together.
There wasn't much happening here. There were a few brilliant companies here who led the way, but I don't know if either one of us would have said it was in our bucket list to start a production company.
Well, I think,
okay, it's in your bucket list.
No, I think we're quite entrepreneurial though.
Oh yes.
We were slightly forced into it by being in a small industry, but it's turned out great. Brisbane's fresh soil for us, we felt, and I think it's a bit of an underdog spirit here where you feel like you can prove yourself and make Queensland stories, and that's exciting to do. It's something fresh. Then we started developing shows, and the first couple were 7 Days Later and Doodles. Daly did some pitch decks which really pulled it together, like showing what they were, that we could pitch them to different broadcasters. We had a conversation with which one should we go with first, and 7 Days Later, I remember feeling that was the one, and that got an international digital Emmy, and then we did Doodles, and that also won one. But that allowed us to go to Screen Australia and say, could you give us some enterprise funding? And they did, and then that allowed us to focus on the creative for a year or two, and then we were able to develop other shows from there, and one of those was Bluey. We were making a show which was an extension of Doodles for Cartoon Network called The Sketchy Show, and Joe had done some beautiful animation for that show, making a mermaid jump into a glass of water. And he showed us a 2-minute clip of a little show about dogs that he'd made. We loved this clip, and then Joe let us take it to markets that we were going to. And everyone responded really positively. They found it funny too, but they weren't quite sure what it was, because it was as much about Dad as it was about the kids. So we did spend a year then with Joe writing different versions of the show. We landed eventually on a show that was genuinely funny for adults and for kids, and that was the intention, to make that show.
I think whether a show's successful or not is it's a bit up to the universe, but what will give it its best chance is making it by the people or the person who are creating it. And I think that was a big thing with Bluey, that it was made under one roof with one voice and really supported as well. That's something that I think is a little bit rare that we didn't realise at the time, that all the animators and sound and composers and producers, everyone was under one roof, and so turning around or chatting to someone about a problem that needed fixing wasn't 4 emails and then done the next day. It was, you know, you could walk across the studio 4 foot and talk to them and solve it then and there.
I first met Charlie and Daly when I was working at another Brisbane production company, Wild Bear, and someone that was working at Wild Bear had started working with Charlie and Daly and said, hey, you should come and meet these guys. They had an office at QUT at Kelvin Grove, and yeah, it just really had a good vibe together. It just felt really natural, and they were looking for people to work on Bluey. At the time, they weren't quite sure what my role would be or where I would fit in, and I came back again, had another meeting with them, and then I got offered the job of line producer on Bluey. I first saw Bluey when Charlie and Daly sent me the pilot just before I started working on it. And I remember sitting and watching it with my son, who was 14 at the time. And as soon as we watched the pilot, he turned to me, having known that I've worked in a lot of kids' TV, and just said, you have to work on that show. And I thought, if a 14-year-old boy is saying that to me, then there is definitely something special about this show. I'm so proud of this team. The crew that worked on Bluey were astounding. We had people straight from university that this was their first job. We trained everybody up. We were using an animation software that no one had experience of using here in Australia because it was something that Joe and Rich had worked with in the UK and they really wanted to work on it for Bluey. So we had to train everybody. We had animation training for like 4 weeks and design training for another 2 weeks. And yeah, so to see everybody come together and make that show, we worked really hard.
This is the kind of company where you kind of have to bring your whole self to it. It's not something where you can kind of turn up and then go home at the end of the day. It's always with you. You're watching movies, you're watching TV, you're reading books. Everything kind of like filters into what you bring to the team. We've been really lucky at Ludo to always hire really talented people. So the best way to support really talented people is to give them a long leash and to say go for it and to encourage them. And if everyone knows that the best idea wins, if everyone knows that it's all about the highest possible execution, then everyone's focused on that. And they've continued to grow, but that's the pressure now on myself, Sam, Daly, Charlie, everyone, to provide those opportunities for them because they're so highly talented, so skilled, care so much. You want to make sure they're on the projects that fulfill that ambition. It's not only saying you can go and work on a Hollywood movie down on the Gold Coast, then you can come work for us as well and tell a story about Brisbane and about Queensland. When we first started making the show, everyone said that preschool is really hard to crack and really hard to be successful in. And it also takes around 5 to 6 years for the market to appreciate a preschool project because parents and kids need to kind of become familiar with it in order for it to become a proper brand. That happened automatically. And so we were able to not only release the show with ABC in a really great platform for Australia, but we backed that up by engaging with the audience, doing the marketing and staying in touch with the audience and being fans alongside themselves. Seeing the success of the show brought about by caring for the audience and that deepening their engagement and wanting to see the books and wanting to have the toys and wanting to have all those things. Because of our approach, that's what's pretty impressive business-wise for the company, and to do it on a scale where we get to work with partners like Lego and get to work with partners like Minecraft and do big cultural moments like Macy's Day Parade. Those types of things, it's great to see that backed up by a sense of joy and a sense of fun and a sense of play that comes from the show.
I think what Bluey has done for Brisbane is definitely put it on the map. I think the amount of people now that know where Brisbane is definitely increased. Some of the things that I'm most proud about that we've achieved for Bluey outside of the actual show would be very early on, Australia Post asked us to make a set of postage stamps. And I was like, what? Bluey's going to be on a postage stamp? This is crazy. But then that was literally the opening of the floodgates because then we had the first Bluey album, a music album. And then we were asked to make a stage show, which was just so after my own heart because, you know, I came from a theatre background, so making a stage show was like, I can't believe we're doing this.
Awards are wonderful, they're wonderful, but we've lost a lot as well. And I think if we let awards decide, oh, that's good or bad, I think we've tried, as much as we appreciate them and love them, we've always tried to be the verdict of whether it's good or bad in our own heads. I think there's that saying that if you agree with an award, then you have to agree when you don't get it too. And we've disagreed a lot. we think everything we make is wonderful. This one, the Father of the Year in the Canine category. That's a really nice one, especially because of the amount of recognition for the fathers, and we got a canine category. It was wonderful. I think wanting to protect the creative in some way, or at least wanting to be the people that get to collaborate with the people commissioning the creative and allowing it to happen, the executives at all the stations, or Screen Queensland or Screen Australia, all those brilliant people. I think a big part of it was just wanting to make sure that we were the ones that represented our shows or the shows we were making to try to protect the creative as best we could. So always while this sort of juggernaut of Bluey was happening in parallel, we sort of always made these shows we loved next to it. We've made Robbie Hood with Dylan River, who's incredible. And then we made Thou Shalt Not Steal for Stan.
I'm very proud of Thou Shalt Not Steal. That was an extraordinary show. It was shot on the road from Alice Springs down to Adelaide. 6-7 weeks filming in hot, fly-infested dirt. 6 weeks filming on the road was a real challenge with a crew. It was a really great show to make. We all believed in Dylan's vision for the show, Charlie and Daly especially. And yeah, I think one of the highlights when the award ceremonies came round was winning Best Drama from SPA, from the Screen Producers Association, which was really special because that's voted for by, you know, producers in the industry. So that meant the world to us to win that award.
At the moment we're making 2 features. We've got the Bluey movie, which is coming out in 2027, and we're also making a film called Alan, written and directed by Daly for Netflix.
Yeah, I think they'll be around the same time coming out, I imagine. That seems to be always what happens. Yeah, so that will be very exciting. We've managed to have the animation pipeline in Brisbane and then also work with this cast and crew, especially the crew from Brisbane. They're just, there's the most amazing people here to collaborate with, just finding the right ways to collaborate with them on the right project.
We love making shows that travel and showing Brisbane to the world. That's really why we're doing it. If we could make shows that we've just made here locally, for them to find a really broad audience everywhere, that pretty much hits the spot for us.
I think we're just figuring out what we'd love to do next. Now it's all that's in our heads. What sort of legacy do we want to leave? Yes, I feel the same, just getting started.